they released their second official single, No Type. This track hit number 16 on the Hot 100 chart. Both of these songs went on to be platinum records, 3 times and 7 times respectively. No Type was also a little bit viral for people saying that it was a contradictory song. You guys can debate whether having no type but only liking bad bitches is contradictory in the comments below. Then at the end of 2014, they released their debut album, Shrem Life. They also released Throw Some More with some verses from Young Thug and Nicki Minaj. It's just mind-blowing to me how quickly they came out with multiple bangers that are still hard to this day, so shortly after connecting with Mike Will. I promise if they came out recently, everyone would have been calling them industry plants. Regardless, they released Shrem Life shortly after announcing it and kicked off 2015 the right way. They sold 49,000 units first week, hit 5 on the Billboard 200, and the album had a lot of positive reviews. It also had the track Come Get Her, which would also go on to be 5 times platinum, and it had a ton of radio play.
Nobody making that type of music. Even right now, it's like the type of music they was putting out is like nobody really creating that. And it's like you can't just make that trying to copy somebody. It's like that's why it's like when people try to recreate it, it's just like it don't hit the same. Like.
And Sway was right. They had a unique sound and good vibe that I feel like a lot of other artists around then didn't really have, which seemed to help them blow up a lot. They released a bunch of singles this year that hit the charts, and they also opened for Nicki Minaj on her Pink Print tour. They also did a worldwide tour for their album. They even won a BET award this year for Best Group. Shrem Life was ranked by Complex as 3rd best album of the year. And of course, hip-hop's biggest hater, Ebro, chimed in and said it didn't belong there, but no one really cares what he says anyway. Also in this year, Sway Lee did a song with Future and The Weeknd, which was his first single as a solo artist and would eventually seemingly lead to a rift between him and his brother.
I forgot about Drinks on Us. That song is fire. I gotta goddamn take a picture of this. I legit forgot about this song, bro.
Which was his first single as a solo artist and would eventually seemingly lead to a rift between him and his brother. However, the two continued killing the game together, releasing their next big single in 2016, Black Beatles. If you guys don't remember this song, it was the one that was like, Black Beatles in the city, be back immediately to confiscate them. It was that song. Regardless of my singing, it was a chart-topping track that eventually went diamond. This is also surprising, but apparently this was the song that gave Gucci Mane his first #1. Part of the reason this song did so well, though, was because of this trend called the Mannequin Challenge, where people would just freeze basically doing funny or impressive poses. This trend was massive, bigger than Ninja, Low Tape, or Fade, and everyone was doing a video like this with some of them being really funny or cool. The Mannequin Challenge made its way up to Hillary and Bill Clinton, so that's how you know everybody was doing it.
You got Hillary Clinton up here, you know what I'm saying? You got Bill Clinton up here doing the Mannequin Challenge.
Right.
So like these people are getting introduced to this whole other world that they never would have heard about through a challenge, you know what I'm saying? They having fun. Sunflowers, you know what I'm saying?
Thug also named a song he did with Juice WRLD after the challenge, and that song was a banger as well. And there's no doubt in my mind that this was the peak of Rae Sremmurd. They had tons of huge singles, well-performing albums, and a year-defining song with Black Beatles. Also, one memory I unlocked while making this was Sway Lee's Snapchat stories back in the day. I remember he bought a pet monkey that he was always posting, and he also bought this super realistic Thanos glove and was playing with it. Or maybe it was an Iron Man glove, I don't remember. But clearly these guys were on top of the world, coming from performing in an abandoned house that they were living in to buying monkeys and Thanos gloves. But then the two brothers would start venturing out more so into their own solo careers, which seemingly would lead to some type of sibling rivalry, or at least that's what fans theorized. The same year that they went crazy with Black Beatles, both artists also announced their own solo projects as well, but they made sure to say that they were going to keep working on Shrem Life 3. The following year, though, Sway Lee featured on French Montana's extremely successful track Unforgettable, and Sway by all means made this song his own. The song peaked at 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and again eventually went diamond. Rae Sremmurd was still putting out tracks, but Sway Lee was beginning to get most of the attention. In 2018, he was described as the songbird of our generation and said that he considers himself more of a singer than a rapper, which all proved to be true when he put out the track Sunflower with Post Malone, which again went diamond. It's actually insane when you think about it, but Sway Lee, if you include Black Beatles, has more diamond records than almost every other rap artist aside from like Eminem, Drake, Cardi B, and maybe a couple others. Mike Will also announced around this time that Sway Lee and Slim Jimmy would release their 2 solo projects under the same album as Shrem Life 3, making it some sort of weird triple album, some sort of Frankenstein type of album. But regardless, they continued putting out singles like Teed Up and Power Glide, which also did fairly well. By this point though, Sway Lee was definitely outshining his brother by a good margin. He even put out a song with Drake called Won't Be Late. But after 2018, it was mostly radio silence from Ray Shremmerd, and it was almost as if they had vanished. Many were confused, like how could this duo come into the rap game so quickly and just absolutely crush it in such a brief period of time, putting up numbers like almost nobody else and then just vanish. Some have tried to blame Sway Lee for leaving his brother behind while he furthered his solo career, but I think it's a little bit deeper than that, and that there are a few main reasons as to why Ray Shremmerd went MIA. Sway Lee continued doing his thing as a solo artist, putting out some
Jimmy had a
singles
kid,
and doing
didn't he?
some features. I didn't even know this, but he was on a remix of that TikTok song Roxanne, which was also pretty successful, and he was also on one of the Madden soundtracks. But this whole time, Ray Shremmerd was inactive, and Slim Jimmy was MIA. Slim Jimmy had done a couple of songs with some random people like Designer, who was kind of off at that time, and even that industry plant Baby Goth that I've covered before. But no one was really paying attention to him when he would drop music. And I think one of the main reasons that this happened was because of Slim Jimmy's declining mental health. Slim Jimmy has openly talked about his drug use throughout his life before he even got famous.
So, I was a part of the Poppin' Zans era, you know what I'm saying? I used to pop pills and shit, you know what I'm saying? So,
how old were you when you first started popping pills?
from like 21, you know what I'm saying?
So this was after you guys got signed and already started?
Nah, this is like probably a little bit before,
Right
you know
before,
what I'm saying?
okay.
I'm working in a factory, like it's on one of them types of things, popping the addy, stay up type shit, like that's how it starts.
So you didn't have money back then, but once you had money, now you could afford.
Yeah, then I'm just trying shit, but like I never, nigga never did no coke or nothing like that, but like
Me neither.
I had my fun or whatever, so got done with that, but
And this could be seen to a further extent after he got famous. For example, in a 2018 interview with Rolling Stone, he talked about the time he crashed his rented Ferrari. I played chicken with traffic. I woke up from this party. I don't even know where my shirt was. Got in the Ferrari, no shirt on. He then said he blew a red light, overturned, and crashed. He continued, drove home with the front dragging on the ground. Now, he didn't explicitly say that he was on drugs during this time, but I think it's safe to assume that. Jimmy's drug use got worse, he said, after experiencing an injury in 2015 during his set at the Governor's Ball when he accidentally jumped off stage and cut his leg on a light.
The pill era is something different, man.
yeah, that was like,
I know, like for example, whenever I've had like little surgeries and they give me Xanax or something, I throw them away.
to be honest, that's kind of really what got me bad though. To be honest, I did pop addies at first, you know what I'm saying? But then when I don't know if you remember this, like it was Governor's Ball. I had jumped off the stage and I thought it was a speaker, but I didn't jump through
Yeah,
like
I
a
remember
spotlight.
that, yeah.
So it cut my leg all the way open. They had prescribed me like Oxycontins. Now, I was doing Oxycontin for my pain, but after the pain went away and all that shit, I'm
Kept
still
Oxy.
got this little, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So then that's when I start popping Xans, perks, little shit like that. And then before I know it, it's a problem, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
So because of drug use, mixed with people beginning to point out that Sway Lee was taking all of the attention away from his brother, things between the two seemed to get pretty serious. Then in 2019, Slim had a little bit of a Twitter meltdown saying he was done with Ray Shremmerd. He said, "Not Shrem Life, I'm not Ray Shremmerd, I'm Slim Jimmy, and I'm a sink or swim by myself. I bought my mama $1 million crib off my work. Y'all still got your man Sway, y'all'll be straight." He also posted on his Instagram, "Rip Slim Jim." This caused a ton of fans to think that the lack of music and whatnot, as well as these tweets, meant that this iconic duo had broken up. Eventually, Ray Shremmerd's main Twitter came out and said that it wasn't true, but Slim rebutted that, saying that whoever was on the account was lying. Even Trippie Redd jumped into the mix, saying he finally realized we only listened to Sway parts, LMAO. Eventually, Sway Lee responded to this whole situation, saying on Twitter, "I'm never leaving Shrem Life, stop the speculation." Slim said that people started to pit him against his brother, and it was causing problems for him mentally, especially coupled with the drugs. As much as Slim has said in interviews that he wasn't ever jealous of his brother, it's hard to imagine that with the drugs, with the more sensitive state he was in, and Sway Lee's extreme success apart from theirs, it just seems impossible that this wasn't affecting his mental health at all. Back in that Fader interview I mentioned earlier, way back in 2016, Jimmy did say, "We're real brothers. We always get mad at each other. I like to see my brother doing good. We're like yin and yang. I'm more on the wild side. I want to go skydiving. Sway's scared he's gonna die." So clearly they're different, they have their arguments, and that's a normal human relationship. And eventually he said that the drugs were the main reason he was tweeting about the group splitting, and that it followed a fight that he had with Sway.
might be, me and my brother be arguing a lot. We used to argue a lot, so goddamn, we'll be fighting or whatever. I might have got mad, goddamn. When you do drugs, like, you get real sensitive. I don't know what about drugs just be making niggas sensitive and shit. So, like, I just tweeted that shit, but people took that shit like it was on wax, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't even like that. It was just, that was an emotional moment.
So I can't imagine that while dealing with all of those mental health issues and drug problems, seeing your brother touring with Post Malone without you is the best feeling. And this isn't even really Slim Jimmy's fault either. The entire internet had been telling him throughout his entire career that his brother was better or that he was holding his brother back throughout their career. And that genuinely seemed to affect him, to the point where he even suggested that he felt he was holding Sway back too. I mean, like I said, people were saying this throughout their whole career, with fans and even people in rap media suggesting that Sway Lee should just leave Slim Jimmy, with Joe Budden making this comment back in 2016.
Can never
Hey, Slim Jim, hate to break it to you, buddy.
in any group.
Y'all are separating.
No, they're not.
Sorry, Mike Will.
No, they're not.
They actually confronted Joe about this, so clearly they were hearing the chatter online.
That's true.
You don't even know what I would make a song about. You just got an impression or an idea of what you think. I don't care what you think. That's what make me me
But
anyway.
wait, Jimmy,
That would make me me anyway.
But Jimmy, wait. I never said that you weren't good.
No, this is what you said. Jimmy, Sway gonna leave you. Then this how you was talking. When Sway leave you, you just gonna flop. Man,
Jimmy,
you got me man,
Jimmy.
all the way messed up.
Wait,
It's-
no.
We the millennials. It's a new generation, and we got the game. We effing the game up.
But again, I can't imagine it didn't get to Jimmy. For example, in a Complex interview in 2016, they were asked if they were working on solo material. The writer said that the mood in the room changed, and then Jimmy sighed, saying, "I already know the industry been wanting to ask that question. The whole industry going to do shit to separate us. We got separate tracks because we can both rap." Like he said, the industry kept pitting the two against one another.
Well, I remember you said like right around 2020 that, although you announced that, you're out of the group, but, that wasn't true. But then you said that next year that Rae Sremmurd almost broke up. You said, I felt like I wasn't really carrying my weight as an artist. You took time off to work on yourself, and you're saying that outsiders were making you and your brother like compete against each other.
Nah, it was really like, see, that was me sobering up, you know what I'm saying? Just coming to see things in a different way. Of course, we have success. We're doing great, but I feel like once you're in a position like that, you should be the best version of whatever you're trying to be. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like I was doing that, and I know my brother's a great artist, so you know what I'm saying. I don't never want him to feel like, you know what I'm saying. I always want to do my part, just as a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like the type of person who wants to be carried along. So yeah, so that's all it was. It's just me recognizing, hey, this is serious. We got a #1 hit. We're touring the world. Like, I never thought it was gonna go this far because I'm used to shit like not going far. You know what I'm saying? Like,
In reality, both of the brothers just wanted to do different things, and at the end of the day, they are brothers.
and we've been together for so long. It was just a time when we both wanted to do different things. Like me, like I said, I wanted to use that time that I used for personal development. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did. And Sway wanted to continue doing music. That's what he did. And honestly, I always felt like it was time for him to get his little. See, the nigga make good songs every day. Like, I'm in the studio, like, man, this shit hard. So it was time for him to do that. And I wanted my time to myself, so I didn't never see no problem with that. But there was a tweet that I put out which added fuel to the fire, because the people in the world just gonna talk. Social media, they gonna talk. They're like, oh, they're gonna split up.
What'd you say in the tweet?
I was like, I don't even remember. I'm not gonna lie. Do you remember?
Yeah.
What I say?
Rae Sremmurd no longer group type shit.
No, that's not what I said. I ain't say
Sway
that.
said, I'm doing this Rae
Some
Sremmurd
shit. But
so
like,
then boom, it went viral. It's like boom, they just stuck with it.
But these weren't the only things that Rae Sremmurd had going on behind the scenes that were causing problems for the two. In the beginning of 2020, Sway and Slim's stepfather, who raised them, was tragically shot by their younger half-brother, Michael Sullivan. Their half-brother has schizophrenia and wasn't on his meds, so he was charged with first-degree murder. He actually briefly escaped from jail, but was quickly detained. The two rappers appeared somewhat close with Michael, as they'd previously taken pictures together and seemed pretty happy. So very understandably so, this was a very heartbreaking incident for the two brothers, and I can't imagine this helped their output at all.
So around that time, our dad had died. I had a lot of personal issues I was working through, and I had a kid. I just had a child, and I was just trying to fix some personal things. I wanted to be like a different kind of person, you know what I'm saying? I had some shit I ain't want to be doing no more. And so that's what I took that time to do, you know what I'm saying? 4 or 5 years off.
Following this, Slim had a few legal incidents too. One when his girlfriend said that she hit him, but eventually she recanted her story on record. And there was also a fight that happened too.
That didn't have nothing to do with nothing. I was just walking the streets. These guys start tripping, and my security guard, R to the Shadow, man. That was one of the greatest security guards I ever had. But RP the Shadow,
Fuck!
he pushed the dude back. The dude got a little rowdy, hit him over the head with a bottle, and now I'm jumping in a fight. And yeah, that made it to TMZ. It was crazy.
Nothing crazy ended up coming of either of these, but I can't imagine it helped the situation.
God
However,
damn it,
despite
man.
everything that was going on behind the scenes, because of what had happened online and the lack of output from Ray Shremmerd, many fans just assumed that the group was done for, with Sway Lee leaving his brother Slim Jimmy in the dust. And while people may have had that idea online, what it really seems like is a mixture of drugs, mental health issues, jealousy, and not wanting to hold his brother back, who seemed to already have it all figured out, so Slim Jimmy went MIA for a bit. One fan said, people just wanted him to be upset that Sway Lee was the much more popular of them two and wanted a negative reaction. I actually felt bad for both of them because people just wanted to see drama and animosity between them. Sway Lee doesn't get nearly as much credit for being a loyal brother. And that's true. While Slim Jimmy may have had a little bit of jealousy shining through in some Twitter rants, at the end of the day, I'm sure he obviously wants his brother to keep winning, and I'm sure Sway Lee would support him if he was ever down bad. I mean, again, they're brothers. And eventually, thankfully, things got better and Slim Jim was able to recover from his drug struggles. He overcame his drug problem and found himself in a much better headspace after taking some time away.
But I don't do drugs no more. Like, that's one of the major reasons, because I don't like anything that takes me out of the control of myself. You know what I'm saying? If I do some shit I wouldn't normally do, I'm not gonna fuck with it. I don't drink a lot, you know what I'm saying? That situation right there, and you know, sadly, my RP to Big Floyd, my dad, you know, him passing and my little brother going to jail, like, that was like one of the major points in my life that made me quit doing drugs altogether, you know what I'm saying?
Slim and Sway got reconnected just a few years after seemingly splitting, once Jim was done with his break. They then went on a promo run to promote their 2023 album, Shrem for Life, in which they explained that they never broke up or went solo.
Yeah, like me and Jim, like we never, I wouldn't say we pursued solo careers, but me, it probably look like that because I'm still just putting out songs, you know what I'm saying, features and stuff, so it's like they going up.
Regardless, Slim's problems combined with Sway's solo career most definitely damaged the group's legendary run and seemingly killed their momentum, as their latest album didn't do so well. After they got back from their break, rap had evolved quite a bit since like 2018, and their style didn't quite hit when they dropped. I also don't think it really got much of a marketing push at all, because I didn't even hear about it back when it came out, so it's really unfortunate to see what happened. So as needed as that break may have been, it definitely wasn't very helpful for their career. Although I doubt they care that much, as they both seem to be doing great in life, and after all those crazy diamond, platinum, and gold records, I'm sure they are good on money. Ray Shremmerd's story is definitely one of triumph and overcoming your challenges, so now that they have done that and are officially back together as a duo, I am really excited to see what they put out next. And maybe if we're lucky, they'll start putting out some bangers like they were back in the day. If you like this video, you might like my video on Beats by Dre, where I talk about what happened
y'all
to the
mean?
brand,
The
how it
last
kinda
album
fell
had
apart,
bangers.
how
They
Apple acquired the company and kind of put them on the shelf and stole all their stuff. It's pretty interesting, so check the video out
For
right
sure the
now.
last one
Other
had
than that, though,
bangers,
if you
bro.
enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like and even consider subscribing down below. And yeah, it's been your boy Mighty Balls, and I'll see you guys next time.
And we're back with another episode of Before You Buy. You know by now, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest video games releasing. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, and today we're talking about Death Stranding 2. This is the follow-up to Hideo Kojima and Kojima Productions' 2019 game. Here, Sam is back, the world is still a mess, and he's got to deliver a lot of stuff. It is once again a weird, lengthy, interesting game. And personally, as much as I enjoyed the first Death Stranding, I think Death Stranding 2 is an improvement. In recent years, I've encountered a lot of sequels that I just didn't really end up loving as much as the first game. Thankfully, this time around, I think Death Stranding 2 builds what the first game sets up and runs with it. Whether or not that all lands with you personally, it's going to be up to you. But I've had a lot of fun playing this one, and I got a lot to say. So just so you know, we've been playing a review copy, and all of this footage is captured running on a PS5 Pro and is spoiler-free. So any cutscenes or things you see here are
Is Death
relatively
Stranding for
early in the
PC?
game, or just stuff heavily featured in the marketing. And even there, in the edit, like, we played it really safe, so I think you're pretty covered. But, you know, just as a little bit of a catch-up, after the events of Death Stranding 1 and narrowly escaping the end of the world, Sam and Baby Lou are hiding out when they're tasked with a new mission to connect another region of the world, just as they did America in the first game. So Sam sets out to do what he does best, which in my mind is just extreme cardio. Like, he's hauling boxes and packages long distances to deliver them, occasionally killing some dudes and some ghosts, but mostly just kind of vibing out in big sprawling landscapes. That's Death Stranding. Now, two things right off the bat. The questions I've gotten the most on social media. Do you need to play Death Stranding 1 before this? I hate to say it, but yeah, probably. The game has a lot of language in describing this world that it kind of just assumes you know. It's a weird world with a bunch of confusing lore and, more specifically, a lot of rules. You might be able to pick up a lot of it as you go, but I'd say maybe watch more than one YouTube recap to really get acclimated. The game does actually include a previously on type thing on the main menu, but it's kind of just a big slideshow and it huffs its own farts a little bit too much. Like I said, maybe just watch a YouTube recap. But the other thing is that, look, if you didn't like the first game, if you thought it was weird or boring or a walking simulator or whatever, you're still probably not going to like this one. The playability is significantly improved, but the reality is still that Death Stranding didn't change what it is to capture more audience. It's still, at the end of the day, a quirky delivery game through and through. So if the first one wasn't for you, I don't know if this one will change enough for you. But with that out of the way, for fans of the first game, this one does really kind of go balls to the wall. It's just more fun, straight up. More tools, more deliveries, bigger battles, better combat and stealth, cool bosses, and just interesting, bigger feeling worlds. It's not apparent right away, though. I'll be completely honest. The first few hours felt extremely samey. Like, same flow. Bring a package to a similar looking building you've seen a bunch of times in the first game. The same animation from the first game plays, where Sam places the packages and links up the chiral network. You've done it a million times. You've talked to a hologram, you then take a nap in the room, you take a shower. Bar for bar, it felt too similar, where I was actually like kind of thinking to myself, what were they making for the last 5 years? But then after a while, the improvements rear their head, and I realize the substantial changes, right? Essentially, the core delivery stuff, that whole loop, is the same, but with some streamlined elements and more fun stuff added in to make it more compelling and just, like, fresh enough, as well as just better pacing overall, which made a difference. Whereas in Death Stranding 1, it felt like you'd go hours talking to holograms in basements, just kind of begging for a big story moment, until the game suddenly decides to dump an hour-long cutscene onto you. Here, in Death Stranding 2, the adventure, to me, just felt well-paced. Like, you're still free to do deliveries however you want, take on optional ones, and grind stuff out, of course, but the game just does a better job introducing consistent story moments and some immediacy to some of the big deliveries and the long treks that you're making. And that just made a huge difference to me. Less characters are just calling you up while you're out in the field now to just give you expository dialogue now. So it is a little quieter moment to moment, but then you're often just rewarded with way more interesting stuff happening consistently. Now, I've mentioned streamlining, but it's done in a way that doesn't cut out what made these games special. It's still a clunky game by nature, but much has been done to make navigating menus, planning routes, and managing cargo much better. You're loading into vehicles quicker, you're clicking less things on menus. There's still a lot, but like you're clicking less things, you're organizing quicker, you're cycling through things quicker. It just makes the game feel smoother and enables you to more easily do the things you want to do. You're getting useful tech and tools much earlier this time around. So the simple walking and climbing more quickly fades to riding vehicles and using zip lines and a monorail and all this crazy shit. So while, yes, you lose some of the tension early on of just climbing a mountain and hoping you don't trip and fall, you get to more easily take advantage of stuff that was kind of later in the first game. There's also this new weather pattern system that can make things more difficult, sometimes during story missions, but also randomly on a delivery. Weather is like a trackable system in the game now, and during intense rain, rivers are going to flood and rise, like making traversal more difficult or washing away old bridges that you built. Sandstorms make it hard to see, and wind drains your stamina quicker. There's even an element of fire in the game. These are really well done and just fun to see play out. And having them force you to change your strategies in real time and improvise is just a good way of shaking things up. In fact, I actually wish there was even more of it here. Now, along with this, like I had kind of alluded to before, the game does a really good job doling out tools to you as you make deliveries. The loop is just, once again, oddly addictive if it clicks with you. You want to go big, you know? You want to load up as many packages as you can. You want to fill your car and venture out with that challenging delivery, because every earned, unlocked tool is useful. Faster exoskeleton legs, better weapons, more tools for stealth, more battery storage, you name it. I just found it more rewarding this time. Even if last time around the hikes were more arduous and I was begging for help, in Death Stranding 2, I was just happy to grind for the next fun thing, like an improved thing to build out in the field and leave for people, or like an interesting silenced weapon, or like these decoy hologram throwable grenade things. Plus, there's more stat tracking, as well as a good skill tree here that has useful upgrades you can unlock with these earned points. Think like better detection radius, improved battery charging, and a bunch of other stuff. And this is along with new backpack and vehicle upgrades that are just way more thought out and in-depth this time around. Now, you can probably tell by what I've mentioned, but there are way more opportunities for combat and stealth in Death Stranding 2. Keep in mind, I played the original Death Stranding at launch before all the updates where they gave you a bunch of tools and automated stuff and, you know, these different things. So I didn't really like combat in the first game, and I mostly avoided it where I could because it just felt clunky and weird, like the game had this identity crisis. This time around, combat is much smoother. Now, I'll admit, like, you're still a goofy guy with a bunch of boxes on your back, and you're still rummaging through all your boxes for an assault rifle, but it's just way smoother this time around in terms of feel and also enemy encounter design. You can really scout ahead much better. You can mark enemies, take advantage of tall grass, and lots of stealth tools. It's fun to sneak around. There's definitely a lot more you can do with it. It's no Metal Gear Solid 5, but I still appreciate it. And when things inevitably fall apart and you gotta go loud, taking advantage of guns feels way stronger this time around, thanks to just more interesting weapons, number one, and better control and feedback to them. A lot of this is optional, so if you like Death Stranding as more of just like a delivery thing, that's still the case here. You can be peaceful and try and avoid conflict, but there are certain moments where combat is required, including some good boss battles, and it just feels better and honestly more confident this time around. And this is where there's just some good Hideo Kojima stuff I love, dude. And like, you guys should know if you've been watching for a long time now, like, I am biased. I am a Hideo Kojima fanboy since Metal Gear Solid 1, but like, in these big moments, you're getting tense music, cool soldiers, interesting art direction and design, badass robots, some over-the-top action set-piece moments. Some of it feels extremely, maybe overly. All that Strand-type world building out here is still compelling with some fun remixes. And couple that with having way more tech and tools earlier on, like I said, it just makes it feel like you're really taking advantage of everything the game has. Like, end game level play of Death Stranding 1 feels like the inspiration here. I like playing in this world, and I liked it more than in the first game. I liked pursuing and seeing through the story in this world. Now, does the story land? I think that's going to be extremely subjective. It's not an open and shut case. Some characters are introduced with a lot of fanfare and take up a lot of time and end up not really feeling very important. And some of the more interesting story threads I was hoping to see pursued weren't really as in-depth as I wanted. It also, kind of like I said, references or almost retreads or recreates some stuff from the previous game, and I'm not sure to what effect or what they were going for. Look, it's hard to talk about this stuff without spoiling, but while the story isn't perfect, it did a great job of keeping me playing. Even if it had weird spots that didn't quite land, I still wanted to keep playing to see what happens next. And the high points are absolutely some of the coolest shit I've seen in a video game in a long time. Now, smaller note, I really liked Sam this time around. He's a more active participant in the events, and I think it really helped the story quite a bit. He's still a man of few words, you know, he's not like this overly chatty guy, but he's got more agency, he's a little cooler, and just more interesting. He's not just a vessel for the player, someone who just weirdly stands around while exposition rolls in and he doesn't really say anything. Now, he just feels well thought out and significant. Plus, he's even more customizable. And the graphics are good enough now that he just looks like a real guy. The visuals are nuts. It's almost uncanny. So Death Stranding 2 is extremely familiar, while also massively improved in a lot of ways. Gameplay is more fun and more immediately gripping. The story, while not perfect, is way better paced and more engaging. I think fans of the original will really enjoy this and appreciate some of the gameplay updates. And honestly, just to be back in this cool, weird world. where people dying is like a nuclear event, where the rain ages you if it hits your skin, where some people have superpowers for no reason, where you can expect to turn a corner and see a weird celebrity cameo in the game, the Metal Gear Solid inspirations, the lighter moments, a lot of levity, and a lot of weird, dark, creepy shit. Hiking around, adventuring, being exposed to cool new music by real-world artists, stumbling upon weird surprises, and leaving help for other players behind you. I think Death Stranding 2 succeeds. Like the first game, it's not for everyone, but I think that's by design. And that's okay. If it is for you, I think you're gonna have a hell of a good time. But that's a before you buy. You know how this goes by now. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion. And now I want to hear yours down in the comments. Are you someone who was into Death Stranding 1? Did you jump on right away? Did you maybe play it later on with a re-release and updates and stuff like that? What's your experience? Were you looking forward to the second one? Or do you hate these games? You'll probably let us know either way. But let's talk about anything Death Stranding 2 or Kojima Productions and Hideo Kojima down in the comments. If you like this video, seeing some gameplay, maybe it helped you out, informed you, clicking a like button legitimately helps us out. Thank you. But that's it. I'm Jake Baldino. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Of course, with any new bit of Grand Theft Auto 6 news, and this time a trailer, there always comes a bunch of speculation and really crazy fan theories.
Oh shit, here we go again.
We've seen a lot of them out there. We've wandered the internet and we've come back with 10 of the craziest GTA 6 fan theories. Let's get started off with number 10. There's theory and speculation out there that 70% of buildings will be enterable. Yes, you heard that right. One of the most commonly held fan theories is also one of the most ambitious, technically. Look, games are getting more and more immersive with faster loading and more realistic visuals and more true-to-life environments. And you know what's something you can do in real life? You can go inside, anywhere. I mean, not everywhere, you get arrested, but you know what I mean. Now, in the land of video games, especially open-world video games, interior space is usually at a premium, Usually in these types of games, you get a few central locations you can go in and out of, maybe a few set-piece missions that take place in an interior, but for the most part, you're stuck outside. GTA 6 might, and that's the key word here, might change all that if this fan theory ends up actually being true. Imagine an open world game the size of GTA 6 where you can actually go inside 70% of the buildings. That would be a literal game changer in terms of immersion. We've never really seen anything like that. For actual gameplay purposes, it sounds like it would maybe be unnecessary, but think about GTA Online, right? Being able to go anywhere would make the online experience way, way better, way more detailed. That speculation about 70% isn't coming completely out of nowhere either. This isn't just a theory conjured up. We know that Rockstar has filed patents for procedurally generated interiors, and that old mega Rockstar leak made many references to making a lot of interior locations in GTA 6. Whether any of this will actually pan out or be in the final product, who knows? But the leaks do suggest that Rockstar wants to expand the amount of, explorable interior space in GTA 6. And that doesn't just mean a bigger map, it means being able to maybe actually go into all these buildings. We hope so. We'd love to see it. Next, over at number 9, the theory that Liberty City is in the game. This first theory was pushing into implausibility, but now with this second one, we're just diving into Crazy Town. There are the more reasonable theories that perhaps Liberty City might appear in the prologue, similar to Yankton in GTA 5, or maybe show up as a place you're briefly in during a mission, like when you go to Liberty City real quick in San Andreas. Maybe during a flashback or something like that. That's a pretty reasonable assumption to make. But the real crazy theory here is that Liberty City doesn't just appear, it's actually like a second landmass or map entirely. The idea being that you'll have Vice City and all of Leonida as well as Liberty City, and they'll be like the two separate islands we see on some postcards. Oh yeah, and there are license plates from Liberty City too, so of course that must mean we're just going to be going there, right? Like, it's not like people from another state would be in a state based on Florida, one of the biggest tourist destinations in the country. No, it must be that there's just an entire second map that they're just keeping hidden from us. Look, we're being sarcastic here. It would be a hell of a surprise if this actually ends up being true, but you know, maybe don't get your hopes up. The game is already looking extremely ambitious as it is. Do they really need to double the potential map size on top of everything else that's in there? This isn't even the only fan theory about major secret landmasses in the game. There's a lot of speculation that Rockstar's original plan for a Project Americas is still on, and that there actually will be significantly more added to GTA 6, if not on launch day, then later through DLCs. There is, of course, a lot of speculation that the state of Gloriana will be heavily featured at some point because of license plates and stuff like that, which, you know, people would assume is like a nearby representation of the state of Georgia. Look, all this stuff isn't completely impossible, but considering the scope of the game already, we're just finding it kind of hard to believe that they'd seriously consider making the game so much bigger than it already is. Maybe we'll get a Red Dead Redemption 2 Guarma-style chapter set in a smallish separate map, but that's really as far as we can see any of these ideas going. Next, over at number 8, the theory that there will be a mission in space. Look, we're only 3 entries deep here, and this is already going way off the deep end. Seriously, a space mission? Is Jason gonna like get in a shootout on the moon or something? I don't know. Like, GTA games can go over the top, but not that over the top. A moon mission is getting into like Saints Row 4 kind of territory, and we just don't see GTA 6 going that wacky, because otherwise it's actually looking like a pretty serious affair. Look, this might sound like your average crazy speculation that came from nowhere, but here's the thing. The leak mentioned files with names like space station and shuttle and astronaut suit, and orbit, space landscape, low gravity, all these words popping up, which actually seems to imply that there could be, seriously, a mission where either of the characters for real go into space. How on earth is that meant to happen? We have no idea, but the potential is there if the leaks end up being 100% accurate. The concept of a mission involving space or NASA in some way isn't completely far-fetched. I expect the game will have its own version of, Cape Canaveral. Maybe there's a mission that involves a rocket launch where you don't actually go into space, but you see it in a cutscene, or maybe there's a shootout. I don't know. There's a distinct little possibility. But again, this isn't a list for reasonable theories, though. This is all about crazy theories, and the idea that this relatively realistic and grounded crime game will have a mission where you go on a rocket and launch into space is pretty nuts. Normally we just dismiss this idea outright, but those file names actually did, add some fuel to the fire, I guess. We still don't think it's going to happen, but hey, at least the theory isn't quite as far-fetched as you'd initially believe at first glance. Next, over at number 7, functioning gas pumps. This is one theory that's oddly common. After Red Dead Redemption 2 and its almost pathological dedication to immersion and realism, along with Rockstar's acquisition of 5M, the role-playing thing, it's just left fans going wild in speculation about all the immersive elements they'll incorporate into the game. In many gas stations with NPCs filling up their cars does contribute to this theory, and it's possible. I mean, in Red Dead, you had to maintain your horse and do all that stuff. It's possible in GTA 6, you have to maintain your car. It really just depends on what direction Rockstar actually takes the game, because right now we have no idea. Are they going to lean into the slow, realistic simulation, methodical elements of Red Dead Redemption 2, or acknowledge that, Grand Theft Auto is pretty mainstream and they got to keep things somewhat simple? Who knows, man? Next, over at number 6, the theory that GTA 6's trailers have already revealed a major plot point. Again, this is speculation, but just in case people are guessing things right, maybe you want to skip this point, but this is a pretty fascinating idea from the Reddit user RogerRoger63358 that's both kind of insane but makes a certain degree of sense. So the gist is that every Rockstar trailer from Bully forwards has included some major story event from each game in the trailer, but nobody could tell that it was significant until after the game came out and we got the full context of the theme. So, like in GTA 4, the trailers show the pivotal scene where Nico confronts Darko, but in the trailer, it just looks like a generic intimidation sequence. In GTA 5, One of the trailers shows the moment where Trevor kills Johnny Klebitz from The Lost and the Damned, but made it look like it was just a random guy.
Oh, it did. Bet that. Hell yeah. So if I go a new game, what will it do? I'll just do a new game then, right? Let me goddamn. I want to play this, but I don't know if they gonna goddamn. Whatchamacallit.
We'll get full. Billy trucks. Fucking on this stop, not a slut. Yeah, riding in that truck, get a truck.
It might.
Riding in that trucker, yeah, that truck. Yeah, counting up 100, that's for brunch.
Hey, hey.
350 on that was just for lunch.
Hey, hey.
Can't fuck with these rappers, they my son. Diamonds, they be shining like the sun.
Hey.
3 holes, yeah, that's just a 3v1.
Yeah.
Molly pill that stay up on my tongue. Fucking on this bitch until she done. Yo, Losey, how you got so much swag? Losey, how you stay with that back? Losey, yeah.
Yeah.
Popping tags, Losey, yeah. My name Coe Tax. Look, oh my God, you said life is hard, but mine's so easy.
Yeah.
I cannot see these hoes like I wonder sometimes, like why I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
My chain they got frostbite, put the snow.
Hey.
We'll get full. Billy trucks. Fucking on this stop, not a slut.
Hey. Yeah.
Riding in that truck, get a truck.
Hey. Hey.
Riding in that trucker, yeah, that truck. Yeah, counting up 100, that's for brunch. Yeah, 350 on that was just for lunch. Yeah, fuck with these rappers, they my son.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I shoot that shit in the back? How you reload? Type shit. One shot and it's goddamn red? What's the difficulty on this bitch? You feel me? Damn. Where the fuck that came from? Oh shit. Why this shit 2 hits? Damn. Hold up, bro. Why this shit goddamn? What happens if I start a new game? How far I got on this one? Oh, the first one? Well, shit, I'm about to do that. I'll probably do this one.
.007, this is urgent. Priority 1. We fear the attack may be imminent. How long until you're on the ground?
We should be down in 10 minutes.
We haven't got 10 minutes. The satellite is picking up suspicious activity near Greco's boat. You've got to get a move on now.
I'm on my way.
Danger. Head for the harbor.
I'm in position.
Good luck, 007.
Keep watch on the harbor. Report any suspicious activity.
This is Tanner at Q Branch. Hostile radio chatter shows your landing has gone undetected. Blueprints show Greco's quarters are located on the lower deck. Find him and stop the attack on the G-20.
What am I supposed to do?
Come on, there's nothing out there. We just need to wait for Greco's word, then get the job done.
Where are our escorts? They should have been here by now.
There's some guy. I think they're meeting us on the way. I heard Greco on the phone.
They better show up. We can't do this alone.
Don't worry. Greco will take care of it. In the meantime, I want to get back to the news. Make sure everything else is still on track.
Oh. Damn.
There has been much criticism of the heavy-handed tactics employed by the Hellenic Police Service in the weeks leading up to today's event.
How do I get that?
Rumors of an unofficial curfew operating within a 5-mile radius of the
How do I get that gun?
persist, despite the protestations of the head of Homeland Security.
I can't get it.
Among unparalleled levels of
Type
security,
shit.
world leaders are gathering in Athens today to discuss a series of measures to prevent.
Where is my head? Who the hell are you?
Oh man, straight. Oh, I'm fisting him.
Call off the attack, Greco. It's over. 1 man against 40. I don't think so. Gods! I don't think so.
Yes, sir.
Stop him!
Damn.
Give me that! No! The bigger one!
type shit.
Helicopter inbound.
Greco to all boats. He's still alive. Kill him. Greco the helicopter. I want that boat destroyed.
Understood. Helicopter coming out.
Take out the tower. Take out He's still behind us! Do something!
Head forward. Target acquired.
Finish him! Now!
Let's go.
He's dead. We've wasted enough time. Get moving.
Oh, I ain't dead, my boy. Hell no. We still alive and kicking.
Greco! Over there! Dan! Stay behind and stop him. We are pushing up to the Acropolis.
Damn. What happened?
So Envy was doubting the way that I work out because it's a little different. But I gets to it, y'all. Y'all see the muscles. I've got...
Moneybag Yo is going viral because his picture at the BET Awards. What do you do?
He looks like he's had quite a bit of Botox.
No, he got a lot of shit done. He looks like he got a lot done. And I guess people are just now noticing. It wasn't the most... The picture didn't favor him the best.
Oh, okay. Could have been bad lighting, you know?
No, he got a lot of shit done.
No, it's definitely not bad lighting.
He got it done. Whatever they saying he got done, he went and got it done. Niggas are so secretive about the shit. Nigga, we got eyes. We remember when you came out, and we're looking at you now.
How would you guys... What do you think the response would be if somebody came out and said, yeah, you know, I got a little bit of Botox here and I got my eyes pulled up here?
Absolutely nothing. You would get clowned for a week. No, it depends on. Nigga, Funk Flex recorded himself putting cups and lipo sticks in his ass. We clowned him for a week, and everybody went on with their life.
It depends on your image, though. Some of these people's images are of this.
What? I can't kill you if I got my body done? Make this make sense to me. What can't I do if I got my body done?
Like, I'm a thug nigga, you getting your eyebrows twerked.
The thug niggas is the ones that's getting their body done.
I don't know that. I'm just saying.
I'm telling you.
So that's why a nigga would want to keep it secretive.
Why?
Is vanity seen as like a feminine trait?
No, but it shouldn't be. But I don't know what he got done or allegedly got done. But if a man went out and started getting his he just get the height, cheekbones and all that shit changed.
Well, isn't that vanity?
It takes away from some of your thuggism.
How?
You can't be like a vain thug.
You can't bust your gun if you got your cheekbones lifted.
I feel like that would be beneficial if you bust your, like get your shit. That wasn't me. That was somebody else.
Your mugshot will be tea.
How you like that?
Oh shit. You was about to get got, bro. Not even gonna lie to you. I kinda wanna play goddamn Vanquish? I think so.
Sega.
Why can't I go to refresh rate? What if I turn it off? And then can I go there? Vanquish Steam 59 megahertz.
Vanquish.
Oh hell no. What the fuck? Hell no, what the fuck?
God damn it! Move!
What the fuck? Why can't I pause it or no shit?
Move! God damn it! Move!
I don't wanna die. Thank you. Fucking restart.
Vanquish.
Definitely don't remember this shit. God damn, bro. He said, that motherfucker spitting. They finna die. That goddamn microwave in that bitch. This shit low key kinda graphic. Radiation. That's nasty. What is it?
The Order of the Russian Star now welcomes you to the inauguration of a new Russian state.
My order is now the only authority in Russia. In 10 hours, we exercise our newfound strength once again.
There is but one way to prevent the destruction of
New York City.
your complete and unconditional surrender.
My fellow Americans, today has been a day of great tragedy. San Francisco will never be the same, and the toll of our war has increased by countless men, women, and children. Their loss is deeply felt by every American. To those who have committed this heinous act, we say firmly, we will not negotiate with those who wish to destroy us.
Type shit.
Our strength is unmatched. Our will resolute. We will be victorious.
Tight shit.
God
Tight shit.
bless you all. And God bless the United States of America.
SCO-1 Providence is currently under the control of those responsible for the coup in Moscow. We believe the operation is being led by a Red known as Zaitsev. Oh yeah. This is Sam. DARPA sent him to come along with us. We'll get the professor back. This place, hell, even this suit runs on his energy designs. He's too valuable to kill.
I know.
This the toy you've been working on? Not even scratched. You did get some training in this thing, right? Our simulators are very thorough.
You don't trust me?
They did quite a number on you, huh? We could use you as a test subject at DARPA.
He better be glad I'm quick.
What the fuck, man? You're not allowed to smoke on the ship.
I forgot to pay though.
Vanquish. You know, this is a real pain in the ass. How many times you guys gonna make me do this?
It's important we have baselines, Gideon. Just because you can read a manual doesn't mean you know what you're doing.
True. You know I know what I'm doing, so let's do something different. What's on today's test schedule?
Look, I know you're in a rush to get to the bar, but we've got a lot to go over. Passing full control to you now.
You know, this is a real pain in the ass. How many times you guys gonna make me do this?
It's important we have baselines, Gideon. Just because you can read a manual doesn't mean you know what you're doing.
True. You know I know what I'm doing, so let's do something different. What's on today's test schedule?
Look, I know you're in a rush to get to the bar, but we've got a lot to go over. Passing full control to you now.
Go ahead and give us some basic rotational movement readings.
Skeletal actuators functioning nominally.
We're going to get readings on boost limitation. Engage whenever you want.
Overheating.
That's maximum practical output on our current reactor design.
The suit's cooling system can't keep up with that output level. It's causing some temporary performance loss, especially in the skeletal actuators. I'm losing like 30% mobility here.
30% 20% is within our project goals.
Elena, let's move on before Frank reads us the Project Grant chapter and verse.
Firing systems. Proceed with test.
Affirmative. Launching virtual target.
We're going to adjust target acquisition.
Oh, and
Recoil compensators are on and functioning normally.
You can't suppress the recoil anymore?
Sam, your weapon isn't exactly stock.
I know. I'm changing blade modes. Let's try firing something different.
We're still working on expanding the number of configurations stored
what
in
this
memory.
is?
You can't just scan whatever you want and have it
This
work.
shit fire.
That being said, go ahead and activate the scanner.
Oh shit. What up, Kind? Thanks for the follow, bruh. I think that was you, follow. Hey, what's up? Love to stream in the game. You've got great vibes and would love to connect and support. Oh, I appreciate you, bruh. If you don't mind, add me on Discord. My username is Abraham Pro 11. Alright, bet the hell yeah, bruh. I'm locking with you, bro. You stream, bruh? RB. Change weapon. Hold RB to change weapon? Oh, true. I don't think I use this shit like that. This shit kind of fire. Picking up the same weapon when already carrying it.
This thing is even picking up surface scratches.
Blade can only replicate what already exists, even the imperfections.
Now we're going to check the grenade mounts.
Oh, grenade.
We need to get some data on how far we can push the actuators.
I'm releasing an object to test your impact force.
Our friends at the Pentagon were happy to lend us a brand new piece of equipment. Electromagnetic armor. Punch it as much as you'd like, Sam.
True.
Confirming electromagnetic reaction. Sam, give the electromagnetic engine generating the reaction force a second to cool.
So we can't hit the thing too quick, huh?
Go ahead and punch it again.
Nothing beats the only one, too.
Looks like you've still got some fight in you, Sam.
I gotta wait for it to cool over every time.
Sam, we took the measurements we made of your brain's sympathetic nervous system and tuned the R's suit synaptic emitters to augment your reactions under fire.
Doesn't really make walking around with electrodes all day any more comfortable.
Small price to pay for having elevated synaptic activity during critical fight-or-flight situations.
Will you two quit bickering like a couple of MIT grad students? Now let's proceed with our test of the R's functionality. Let me know when you're ready, Sam.
Okay.
What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
I finished implementing the manual trigger system you asked for. The system will automatically lock if it detects any life-threatening imbalances in your hormonal levels due to extended use.
Don't evade. Yes, sir.
Very well. I think that's enough for today's test.
Good job, Sam.
That little workout made me hungry. Elena, you up for some Luckies? Vanquish.
I ain't meant to do that shit, did I? Yeah, I did. Damn. God damn, we just casually getting people blowing out the shit. High shit. said you want to live forever? What the hell you talking about? Tight shit. The Marines. I ain't gonna lie, this was a long ass cutscene, bro. I ain't got time for that shit.
We aren't gonna get through it like this, sir.
Flank around enemy possession. Type shit. What guys I got? Yeah. Ain't no subtitles on it, bitch. Say on.
If you go there, you should be able to flank the enemy from behind.
That's my man. What is that? Anti-armor pistol. Laser cannon. Let me get that laser cannon. But this might be one of my favorite games, I ain't gonna lie. I fucking love this game.
This is gonna be fun.
About to come over here. Damn. True.
Move on through.
This is such a fire game, bro. I mean, this alone is freaking fire, bro. Shotgun, fuck that shit. Let's get it. We don't get ranking? True.
The arrivals class for landing bay 3 is up ahead.
We've got heavy fighting in the plaza. Bravo, move forward and maintain cover.
Roger that. Guess it's time for the real thing.
Your suit is performing at nominal levels, Sam.
Never had a girl say that to me before.
Man, I wish I could make another bank. This one, yeah, this might be in my top, man. Not gonna lie. I don't know if I can put it in my top. Man, I love this game. Not gonna lie. But can I put it in my top 10? Nah, not 10. It's in my top something.
I was hoping for.
That's yeah, stupid. Let's get it. Yeah. Yeah. He said he didn't know they make vibrators that big? What the fuck? I know he didn't say that shit, bro. Did he say that? Hand grenade. If I saved him, then I get some.
Have some juice. Hold still. Administering epi. This is gonna be fun.
Sam, back up. You're moving too far forward.
Don't worry.
Sam, I'm picking up some sort of interference on the scanners. Looks temporal.
You think they're zapping something in?
Enemy reinforcements are closing in on your position.
Power reload?
Other ways to get up top?
It looks like you're just going to have to fight through this one. The gate's open now.
Good. Let's go.
that too. I didn't know I could do that. That was fire. That's fire. This game is so
The main gate
cool.
is above you. You need to get up there and open it.
Burns, I need some backup.
Franklin, Rios, you two escort Sam. Everyone else, provide cover.
What's her name? Ava Dash. This is Dame Dash's daughter.
Two enemy transports approaching from the rear.
Prepare to intercept enemy transports.
Oh yeah? Machine gun.
A heat source is coming up from within the substructure.
Need a bit more intel than that.
Data analysis complete. It's highly probable we're looking at the Russian KNRB-0 Argus robot that's been at the center of the arms control debate.
What the hell? She just called me?
Oh shit. I think I'm gonna need a bigger gun.
Type shit.
It's a monocoque design. They sacrificed armor for payload capacity, so the outer shell should have some strength issues.
Rather go all out than bother with defense. Time to hit hard and make them regret it.
like Transformers and shit. Yeah.
It initiated its transformation. Most likely to connect to its generator and fire its large radius laser.
Type shit. Yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go. That was just fucking cool, not gonna lie. That was fire.
Can you see the core at the center of its torso?
Yeah.
That's the generator.
Burns, you hear that? Yeah, I heard it. Bravo. Everyone fire on that core.
Oh, hell no. You better shoot me point blank. No. Light them cankles up, what? Let's go. Let's go. Yes, sir. Hell yeah. Yes, sir, Ski. Yeah. Damn, what's that? Type shit. What is the second thing on total? Okay.
Objective complete. Well done.
If you say so. No time for pissing in the wind. Let's go.
Pissing in the wind.
Gladly.
What that mean?
I've opened the main gate.
Bravo. Advance through the gate. But keep it closed until reinforcements arrive. Can we adapt that teleportation system to get around the colony?
We're still working on that at DARPA.
And you haven't tried it on humans yet?
No, but when we did try it out, we had a rat who literally had its head shoved up its ass.
Figures that's the best you could do.
Hey, it'll be at least 3 more years before we can get a human in that state.
You're going to be rendezvousing with friendlies ahead. Sending over coordinates.
Understood. Bravo, move out.
Is Game Shack still doing shit? Random as fuck. Oh, nice.
Sequels and follow-ups that don't live up to their predecessor or predecessors. Usually video games are basically the opposite of movies, wherein sequels tend to get better and better than the games that came before it. Not these games, though. Anyway, let's start with Blaster Master 2. Blaster Master was released on the NES by Sunsoft in 1988. This was quite an amazing game for its time, and it still holds up today. Your dumb frog escapes, gets toxicized, and you jump down a random hole and find a tank to rescue him. Video gamers love mazes, and this game presents some pretty big ones for you. Jumping around and shooting with your tank feels really good with just the right amount of momentum applied. You can even hop out of your tank to explore and battle as a little guy. Be careful though, as falling from pretty much any height will kill you. The little guy.
You know I'm with the shenanigans. Because we all know what that we all thought the same thing. Well, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us thought the same thing. And that's just where my mind was and went when I saw that. Like they say, if I'm gonna shenan once, I'm gonna shenan again. I've been wanting to say that. I've been wanting to use that. All right.
I can enter caves or whatever they are to explore from a top-down perspective. These mazes are often more devious and usually where you're going to find the bosses you need to